The business I run is the production of bread in a commercial quantity. I base in Ogwego, Afikpo in Ebonyi State. Initially, when I started, it looked very, very tough. It looked as if the thing wasn't going to sell because, people in the markets and the consumers, they're already addicted to certain products of bread. So forcing them to leave what they know to try your own was a big challenge. So initially when I started, within the first week, I ran a loss of 100,000 naira. I produced it, I couldn't sell. So I now decided to distribute it all over. When I go to your shop, I'll just give it to you. Take, test. If you don't want to sell, I'll just keep it for you. Tell customers about it. If you sell, when I come back, you give me the money. But if you don't sell, just make sure you give it to them to test. At least, people in this part of the world, nobody can reject a gift. So after that, after the first week, the second week, people that tested it now said this product is actually okay. So when I moved in the second week, the turnover was coming up. So the same way we have been doing it all over and all over. And now, I think the market is moving very well.
So how and when did you begin the business?
When the vision started was back then, 2006, when I finished my secondary school education. So I decided, because I don't want to be restricted to a room job, I want to be versatile in life. So I decided that I would do business of my own in life. So I thought it twice to go through tertiary education so that I will acquire the knowledge. So when I entered, the dream became clearer when I was in second year. That is 2011. And that is when I decided the type of business I'm going to do. And bakery was the first one. The business started 29th of November 2016. That is when it started.
I want to assume that you're not a greenhorn. Where did you learn bakery?
I learned bakery in Enugu State. So that was the year I finished my tertiary education. I decided to register with a catering school. So that is where I learned all the packages on that catering. So after that, I now noticed that the way they do domestic catering doesn't suit commercial catering. Because when you produce something domestically, the cost of production will be higher than the market value. So I decided to go and partner with another bakery in Enugu State. That is where I learned the economic way of making commercial bread. So after then, I now decided to come and establish my own because I'm fit with the knowledge. But when I established it, I didn't trust my knowledge all alone because I'm such type of person that like to explore experiences so that I'll get it perfect. I still invited a specialist that has worked on that commercial bakery for like 20 years. So the person came down here and they assisted me in all the processes before I now assumed the management of the whole place all alone. I started with 3.8 million. Bank of Industry gave me 2 million. Then the 1.8 came from me.
So you said you started the business with about 3.8 million naira. You got 2 million from the Bank of Industry and your equity contribution was 1.8 million naira. How did you raise the initial capital?
My father is a printer. I discovered that in a tertiary institution environment, that binding of projects is lucrative, especially when the final years are graduating. So I started up a place in this school. And being a student, it was easy for me to connect to all the departments in school to get the work. Then I got people to join me. My dad gave me some machines I took to school. So of course the binding of the project normally comes up during holidays. So when we vacate for second semester, I'll use the opportunity and stay back in school and run it. That is one of it. So another one is that I was a good writer. That is, I write. So I was helping people with write-ups and they pay. So these are the places I was getting the money. Then I was also doing tutorial for undergraduates under one academy. So I was getting the money all these places. With some of them, my parents will give me money and I'll make sure that I don't use up all of them. So I was saving it. So by the time I finished up, it was around when I finished my service, it was around 1.3. So and my brother helped me with 500,000 naira.
So tell me, how did the Bank of Industry assist you? The 2 million naira, what did you use it for?
It has helped me a lot, like the oven, it was funded by Bank of Industry and the roller and some other facilities in there. So without the fund, I don't think it will be possible to start up the business now. Maybe by now I'll still be looking for funds, how to start it up. But it just made the whole work easy for me. It looked like the money was just waiting for me. After my service, I'll just go into it. So it really helped me to get to where I'm now. And I still wish to, after this one, to go higher and higher.
It's really strange to find a graduate come to his village to start a business. Many of your colleagues or your contemporaries would rather go to Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja, and look for opportunities there. So why did you come to Afikpo in Ebonyi State to start?
Why I decided to stay in Afikpo is, like I said, I didn't have all the money I need to start it in a big way I expected. So I calculated what I have at hand. So I was looking for the resources that such money could cover. I planned starting up in Enugu State, but when I checked out for land I could use to do it, it was taking like 30% of the whole money, and the remaining will not be enough to fund other facilities. So I now said, why am I stressing myself staying in the city where competition is very high, because your competitors there are very big. So I now said, why not move back to my town where I have the land, then I have some building materials available. I'll just add to it and make a structure, then I'll start. Maybe if there is any need to move out or diversify, I can extend to other states. So that is actually the main reason that prompted me to come down to base in Afikpo. Then secondly, I considered competition. Looking at the capacity and the status of the business, if you start in the town and you want to compete with those big fish in the field, you might end up folding up. But when you come back to Afikpo here, the competition is very less. So, and that is why I decided to come to Afikpo and start up the business.
Who told you about the Graduate Entrepreneurship Fund?
I got information that there's a program Buhari approved called GEF. That was a week. Then I was serving in Enugu State as a core member. So when I got the information, I got it like a week earlier before it got to NYSC Secretariat. So I went to the Secretariat and asked them about GEF. They were indifferent about it because none of them knew such thing. So the site coordinator in Enugu State now came to announce it a week later after I asked. So when he announced it, because I have already done my proposal that this is what I want to do, and I know the kind of money I need to add up to the one I have to start. So once I heard it, it rang to my understanding that this is the opportunity I have been waiting for. So I just took the proposal I have already prepared for the business and they applied. It was a competition anyway. 1,000 persons required, the best 1,000. So when I applied, luckily to me, I was shortlisted as one of the people to attend the training. So that is how the whole process went.